And she does have an impact. I was interested, to be honest, to see what kind of force she would be on the golf course in the Pro-Am last week. And obviously she was a big...
ESPN just dropped a bombshell. Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's biggest star, may have signed a groundbreaking deal with the LPGA. That's right, the basketball phenom who took the sports world by storm could now be crossing over into professional golf. But what does this mean for the WNBA? Why is ESPN furious? And why did Stephen A. Smith call this one of the biggest turning points in women's sports history? Today, we break it all down.
It's like we're good, we're gonna call it a birdie.
I don't think so.
Oh,
Yes!
come on. That's huge. Great birdie.
Woo!
Great birdie, great birdie.
Now, the pressure's on for you.
Just hours ago, reports surfaced that Caitlin Clark has been in serious talks with the LPGA and its sponsors. According to Golf Channel insiders, Clark has already competed in Pro-Am events, but this rumored new contract could mark a formal partnership, one that might even allow her to split time between basketball and golf. ESPN insiders reportedly aren't thrilled. Why? Because Clark skipping the highly publicized, unrivaled league tournament this offseason in favor of golf sends a loud message about where she feels respected most.
Look at that shot. I mean, everybody wanted to get close to this superstar.
Caitlin Clark has been golfing since childhood, but in 2024, she stunned fans by shooting in the low 80s at high-profile Pro-Am events. Her swing, short backswing, explosive follow-through, mirrors the same mechanics that made her a basketball legend. At tournaments like the Annika and the RSM Classic, Clark drew crowds larger than some golf veterans. Even Annika Sorenstam admitted she had never seen a Pro-Am attract so many young fans in fever jerseys. But here's the catch. Clark's golf success shines a spotlight on the WNBA's failure to protect and promote its star. Since her debut, she's faced excessive physical targeting, including the infamous shoulder check from Chicago's Chindi Carter. Add to that an exhausting schedule, 11 games in 20 days, and the Indiana Fever misusing her as a shooting guard instead of her natural point guard role. ESPN's frustration isn't just about losing ratings. It's about the league's inability to capitalize on Clark's global stardom. Now comes the bombshell. ESPN insiders report that Clark's team has quietly negotiated with the LPGA. While details remain under wraps, sources suggest a multi-year promotional deal, aligning Clark with golf brands that see her crossover appeal. If confirmed, Clark would become the first dual-sport female athlete at her level, headlining in both basketball and golf. For ESPN, this is a nightmare scenario. They invested millions in WNBA coverage, only to watch their top star find peace, respect, and endorsements on the fairway. The sports world is divided. Some celebrate Clark's freedom to explore golf, while others fear she may walk away from basketball entirely. Stephen A. Smith delivered a fiery rant, calling this a crossroads for women's sports. Meanwhile, golf legends like Nelly Korda have welcomed Clark with open arms, saying her presence elevates the sport. Even Annika Sorenstam praised Clark's ability to draw a crowd like no one else. The WNBA, however, remains silent. This story isn't just about golf. It's about how women athletes are treated. Caitlin Clark has already proven she can carry a league. The WNBA's revenue and ratings have surged thanks to her, but their failure to protect her from foul play and overwork risks pushing her away. In golf, she finds respect, control, and fans who admire her without controversy. If the WNBA doesn't change course, better scheduling, fairer officiating, real investment, it risks losing not only Clark, but the entire momentum she created. So, what's next? 3 possibilities. Caitlin Clark's story is still being written. Whether it unfolds on the hardwood, the fairways, or both, one truth is clear. Wherever she goes, greatness follows. But the WNBA faces a ticking clock. Will they rise to the challenge, or watch their brightest stars shine elsewhere? What do you think? Should Caitlin Clark, the transcendent basketball superstar who has redefined the college game and is already shaking the foundation of the WNBA, has once again found herself at the center of a shocking development that has sports fans, industry insiders, and corporate executives scrambling for answers. As ESPN dropped a bombshell announcement suggesting that Clark has inked a groundbreaking deal that stretches far beyond the hardwood, extending into the rare cross-sport territory of the LPGA. A move so bold and unprecedented that it has ignited endless debates about her influence, her marketability, and the very future of women's sports as a whole, because never before in modern memory has a basketball icon of her stature managed to secure an agreement that ties her brand to professional golf in such a direct, formal, and highly publicized way. And this revelation has instantly sent shockwaves across the sports landscape, leaving fans in awe, skeptics in disbelief, and analysts scrambling to put the pieces together. Since this deal is not just about dollars or endorsements, it's about Caitlin Clark breaking barriers, rewriting playbooks, and proving once again that she is not just a player, not just a scorer, not just an athlete, but a cultural force capable of bending entire industries toward her gravitational pull. And when ESPN broke this story, the tone wasn't casual or speculative. It was urgent, sharp, framed with the kind of intensity usually reserved for scandals or championship outcomes. Because this isn't simply a sponsorship announcement, it's a turning point that forces us to reconsider what it means for an athlete to wield crossover power, to command attention not just in her sport, but in the realm of sports she has never officially competed in. And the deeper you dive into the mechanics of this deal, the clearer it becomes that Caitlin Clark is leveraging her rare combination of competitive excellence, charisma, and cultural magnetism in ways that no female athlete before her has ever managed. And perhaps the most startling aspect of all is that this contract is rumored to give Clark not just promotional appearances or advertisement rights, but actual participation opportunities in LPGA Pro-Am events, televised exhibitions, and branded golf tournaments, essentially weaving her image into the tapestry of women's golf in a way that elevates both her own status and the LPGA's visibility, which has historically struggled to capture mainstream media traction compared to men's golf. Yet with Clark in the mix, those dynamics could change almost overnight, and suddenly we're faced with the realization that Caitlin Clark's brand doesn't just sell tickets, doesn't just boost TV ratings, doesn't just fill arenas, it can potentially lift entire leagues, entire sports into the spotlight, reshaping sponsorship models, driving corporate partnerships, and rewriting the rulebook for female athlete endorsements. And if you think about the domino effect, the potential is staggering. Imagine the LPGA seeing record attendance at tournaments where Clark appears. Imagine ESPN and other broadcasters negotiating higher rights fees because of crossover interest. Imagine corporate sponsors like Nike, Gatorade, or even Titlice rushing to co-brand campaigns that highlight Clark's versatility as both a basketball phenom and a rising figure in golf. And while skeptics might question her actual golf skills, that's almost beside the point. Because this deal isn't just about athletic merit, it's about spectacle, it's about narrative, it's about drawing eyeballs and sparking conversations. And Clark has already proven she has the rare capacity to do that in ways that transcend the box score. Because remember, this is the same athlete who turned women's college basketball into appointment viewing, who shattered records at Iowa, who made WNBA preseason games feel like playoff events, who's being compared to LeBron James and Steph Curry in terms of cultural pull. And now, with this LPGA twist, she's rewriting the blueprint for how women athletes can harness momentum to leap into new markets. And what's even more fascinating is the timing of this deal, coming at a moment when Caitlin Clark is just beginning her professional basketball career, when the WNBA is trying desperately to harness the Clark effect to boost attendance, viewership, and relevance. So why now? Why golf? Why the LPGA? And the answer lies in Clark's long game strategy, because this isn't just about diversifying endorsements, it's about planting seeds for a legacy that goes beyond basketball, about ensuring she isn't boxed into a single identity, about proving she can be a multi-sport influencer in the same way that Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders once were in men's sports, except instead of literally playing multiple pro sports at once, she's using her brand to establish influence across them, and in doing so, she's pushing the envelope for how female athletes are marketed, perceived, and valued in the commercial ecosystem. And you have to give ESPN credit for the way they package this bombshell, because the network knows the power of framing. They know that by leading with the word contract, by emphasizing the LPGA angle, by stressing the crossover implications, they were lighting a fuse designed to explode across Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and every sports podcast in America, and that's exactly what happened with headlines multiplying, reaction videos going viral, and fans flooding comment sections with everything from shock and excitement to cynicism and even confusion, because people are asking, how does this work? Is she really going to play golf professionally? Is she abandoning basketball? Is this a publicity stunt? Or is it the start of a new model where athletes are no longer confined to a single league? And as the dust begins to settle, one thing is crystal clear. Caitlin Clark's marketability is now on a level that requires us to invent new categories, because she's not just a WNBA rookie, she's not just an NCAA legend, she's not just a media darling, she's something bigger, a prototype for the 21st century athlete who leverages talent, personality, and timing to transcend the boundaries of traditional sports identities, and the LPGA deal is proof of that. Proof that the ceiling doesn't exist, proof that the playbook is still being written, and proof that Caitlin Clark is going to be at the center of sports culture for years to come. Whether she's draining logo threes or teeing off at Pebble Beach under the ESPN cameras, because make no mistake, this is bigger than golf, bigger than basketball. This is about Caitlin Clark becoming an empire in motion, and we're only just beginning to see how far it can go.